helps in any way significantly toward meeting that goal can be initiated through all of the degrees and be bestowed a 33rd degree Freemason in one day. In one day, ladies and gentlemen, it has happened many times. And not necessarily just to Freemasons. And that's why a guy that works in Radio Shack can be a 33rd degree Freemason. Because it's not his work at Radio Shack that made him a 33rd degree Freemason. He may have published many books propagandizing the populace to believe in one world government, to believe that existing religions should be put aside. He may have worked in the public eye as a city councilman to guide his city into the New World Order. They want you to think that these people have made no contributions other than being in the Fraternal Order for many years. That's not how you get to be a 33rd degree Freemason of the Scottish Rite, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I mean, that's one view.
If I were captain of industry, I wouldn't be going around disguising myself as maybe a guy that worked at Radio Shack.
Well, you never know what mission a Radio Shack employee might have. You see where you can go with this. In other words, you don't really know because you're a 32nd degree.
Now you see how Art Bill just very cleanly ridiculed the concept that an employee of Radio Shack could ever contribute to society in any meaningful way. And he wasn't just talking about Radio Shack. He's talking about the average man. What he's saying is that it's absolutely ridiculous to think that the average man, somebody living in your own hometown, could be involved in something greater than the Boy Scouts, for instance. That's what he's really saying, ladies and gentlemen. He's ridiculing the idea that anyone at any level could participate in propelling us into world government, into helping to do away with existing religions, into helping to shackle the mob, into helping to destroy sovereign nation states. But if you've been paying attention, you know that Art Bell just insinuated a lie.
Well, I can always, at some point, I like to think I'm at least a possible candidate to make it, but I can always call you back after I make 33rd in case something changes.
No, but you'd never call me back if you made 33rd.
Oh, certainly I would.
No, you wouldn't.
It gives me great pleasure to shoot some holes in some of these idiot fantasies and conspiracies I hear.
Now, Art Bell just told the truth. If he ever makes 33rd degree, he will never call back, and he will never tell the truth about it. In fact, he has not told the truth about anything yet. He has disguised it. He has taken an oath upon pain of death not to reveal any of the secrets of the lodge. In fact, his oaths tell him that if faced with telling the truth, telling the secrets, or telling a lie, he must tell a lie. Art Bell knows much more about the 33rd degree than what he's letting on. Maybe Art Bell has already reached that pinnacle of the 33rd degree of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. He may have. For I can tell you, quite frankly, and with all the truthfulness in the world, that Art Bell is doing as much or more than anybody ever has to destroy the concept of sovereign nation states, destroy all existing religions, to shackle the mob in the chains of ignorance with all of the deceptions and lies and hoaxes that he promotes on his broadcast, and to propel us into one world government. In fact, I revealed on this broadcast that that is the sole aim of his book, The Quickening, is to prepare the populace to accept the concept that one world government is not only coming, but that it's necessary. And I quoted him right out of his book to that effect.
What do you think? A cape with Millennium Master on it? Would that be good?
Here again, well, you might get some flack from the M&M Mars company, since they've already got M&M as kind of a
yeah. Everybody sues everybody.
Copyright
trademarks. That's true. Yeah, you're right. And Mr. Millennium would be no different. Huh.
It's an idea, though.
How about just ABC? Art Bell's cape.
Art Bell, by the way, has dubbed himself Millennium Master, or Mr. Millennium. And you'll find that on his website, that he is now called Mr. Millennium, or Master Millennium. And with this little series here, they are ridiculing any perception or any idea that anyone in a secret society or fraternal order could possibly be involved in anything other than, well, some boyish pranks, dancing around candles in robes at midnight, taking silly oaths that actually mean nothing.
Well, that might be an idea, too. Of course, folks at American Broadcasting Corporation might be a little upset by that.
They'd be ticked off. Art Bell's Cult, ABC.
That could work, too.
Thanks for the...
Or Art Bell's Conspiracy.
Goodbye. We'll see you later. Yep, you bet. First.
And that's it, folks. That was the little play that they gave us on the Art Bell Show just a few nights ago. I died laughing. And since our reception here is not too good, being that this is news, I took it right off his website. And it is news, because it is a deception. And I would challenge Art Bell, you and your buddy caller, you lied. Now sue me. I've just been waiting for that, because if it ever gets in court, we can have discovery and all that kind of stuff, and we can really find the truth. Isn't it funny, ladies and gentlemen, that Art Bell, John Lear, Lieutenant Colonel James Bobo Gritz, and a whole bunch of others all started out in Las Vegas. It's because they all belong to the same lodge. All of them. The same lodge, ladies and gentlemen. After all, it's the city with the Luxor Hotel and the MGM Grand, which, by the way, from the air looks a lot different than it does from the ground. It's a huge green cross. What was the first flag that Columbus planted on the shore when he landed in the New World? It was a white flag with a green cross. It was not the flag of Spain. That was the next one. The first flag he planted represented whatever secret order it was that he really represented. And, of course, if you visited the Luxor, you really took a trip into symbology. And notice that the lion of the MGM Grand is looking directly at the Luxor. And so, we have sort of made a little circle here, haven't we? This just complements the many tapes that we've done on these subjects, most of which are much more meaningful than what you've heard so far tonight. However, what you've heard tonight should be illuminating, to say the least. And should cause you to open your eyes, should cause you to listen a little better. Here's my admonition to everyone. I don't care who you are. Listen to everyone. Read everything. Believe absolutely nothing Not even what I say, not what your mother says, not what your priest says, not what your minister says, not what your brother says, not what your boss says, and especially not what your teachers say, unless you can prove it in your own research that you must conduct with due diligence. The truth is elusive at best. And anyone who relies upon anyone else to tell them the truth is in reality a puppet. A puppet. Belonging, heart and soul, to that person. And whenever they pull the strings, of course, you believing that they're telling you the truth, you will dance to that tune. And you will dance until you're exhausted and fall down dead, if that's what they want you to do. But you will be enslaved mentally within the confines of your own skull because of your own stupidity. This is the age of deception, ladies and gentlemen. This is the most deceptive age in all of the history of the world. If you think people were deceived in the past, if you have read history and you think people were living in ignorance, if you think that they were deceived by their kings, their queens, their sultans, their emirs, their lords, their masters, their religions, their governments, their families, whoever, those people had it made compared to the modern man and woman. Because information is so pervasive and so easy to control. Not only easy to control, but easy to warp and change and manipulate. Especially with television. People would much rather watch something than read something. And they don't much like to hear anything at all. Under circumstances like that, ladies and gentlemen, people can be mesmerized, their minds can be controlled, neutralized, and maybe even eliminated, simply by the little boob tube in their living room. If the person speaking to them, or if they perceive the broadcast to have been created by authority, they will believe it without question. And that goes for at least 95% of the population, of any given population. Most people will look around for someone who will tell them what they already have decided they wish to believe. And when they find someone who will tell them that, they will follow them without question because it makes them feel good. Isn't it amazing that many people choose Art Bell to be that person? Because he gives them a fantasy world that they would rather believe exists than the reality of the one in which they live. You're listening to WBCQ, Monticello, Maine, USA. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now we'll open the phones and get your comments. We're going to open the phones and get your comments on all of this. The number is 520-333-4578. That's 520-333-4578. We'll take your calls now. And I have a little cold, folks. So if all of a sudden I turn down my voice, it's because I have to cough or something. And I'm using some nose spray, which causes all my passages to dry out. And we live at a high altitude in a cold climate here in the mountains in the winter. And so that dryness causes me some great discomfort, and it's really hard to talk right when you're all dried out inside. So I have a cup of coffee here, and I have some orange juice, and occasionally I will be taking a sip. And so if I pause, you'll know what it's for. Good evening. You're on the air.